Hello everyone, my name is Jason Hill, and today we're doing a sculpture sketch in Zbrush. Alright, so today we're going to be doing something that I hope becomes more of a regular thing. This is much more like the first video that I posted, and I think this is a lot of what the content is going to be from now on. The last video I made was a head sculpting demo, like a human head. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, go and check that out. This is much more of a sketch, and I thought it would be a cool thing to put up. A little bit for myself, but also hopefully there's people out there that are into this sort of thing. So today we're going to be doing an alien. The brief that I made for myself was an alien, and make him look cool. A really big inspiration was Zbrush. I'll try to put a link to his gallery in the description. Although I wasn't looking at his stuff when I made this, I've looked at it quite a bit, and this sketch I did not have any reference, and that'll probably be the case most of the time. Maybe not most of the time, but this sketching for me is definitely something that's really important that I've been trying to get myself to do more often. And that's just doodling in 3D. And, there's a lot of benefits from that. A lot, I don't really know. I just feel like doing shapes and characters, just practice. That'd be the best thing. So, in this one, I really was just focusing on doing like an alien-like creature. I feel like I haven't done creatures a lot. And Zbrush happened to really inspire me before I did this. Or, maybe I was even looking at it right before I did this. But in this one, I didn't have a reference. And I think normally, maybe I would. But I didn't want to do Zbrush because I would just copy him because he's so rad. So this ended up looking a lot like something that he did. So it must have made an impression because I didn't remember it, but it ended up working out. So yeah, so the brief is fairly loose for me. This is very much just playing around. It's just, hey, an alien, I don't know. Something that I did have in mind was a wide mouth with wide set eyes and strong cheekbones. Maybe even a strong brow. Those are definitely things that I tried to incorporate into this. And everything else was very loose. And even that description, that doesn't necessarily mean what the lips and cheekbones look like. I just wanted it to be that kind of shape. So my original thinking didn't include a nose, and you can see me experimenting with noses kind of throughout this, probably until eventually I just put them on the forehead. I just make it more designery, like lines. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'll probably talk a little bit more, but first I want to talk about some other stuff. So yeah, this is going to be much more of a series now, I think, and it's just instead of having a blog or like a digital like sketchbook, YouTube will be my digital sketchbook. So that seems good because I haven't made a lot of content, even though I've wanted to. So I think this is a good way to just incorporate anything to keep my practice up and just record it every time, and then maybe I'll put it somewhere on my website or something if I dig it. And hopefully people can get some entertainment value out of it, and maybe some learning, or some, at least seeing a sketch, in ZBrush in action. So that's definitely what's going on here. For me, doing this sketch, well, I wanted to talk about practice for a little bit. So, what sketching means to me, because that's, kind of a loose term. Sketching in a sketchbook would obviously be doodles and stuff. And in what I do in 3D, I feel like it's very, very similar in concept. Like a 2D artist would sketch out some ideas and things that he's really jazzing on, maybe in a sketchbook. He would definitely do more iterations than myself. But that's what I'm doing in 3D, except instead of having, a couple pages full of different ideas, I have one. And I think that's actually a little bit having to do with the fact that it's in digital. Actually, now that I just said that, I would say it's all because it's in digital. So if I would say I wasn't using ZBrush, say I was using clay, they would be much smaller sculpts, little doodles that I would nuddle around with my thumbs, and I could have several of those. Just break off a piece of clay and do a shape, do a face shape. But because it's in digital, it's never locked down. I'm as a 2D artist would do a doodle and a silhouette and a sketch, and do ones that don't work, and then just go to a new one. I would do that same kind of thing in ZBrush, except when it doesn't work, I'm gonna undo it, or I'm gonna smooth it out, or I'm gonna do something. So I feel like as I'm sketching in ZBrush, I really feel like you could make like 10 different characters from the one character that you end up making. Every time you move the mouth, where the mouth is, and the brows, changing the expression, how long's the neck, you could, a million, infinite amount of variations. And so yeah, that's the difference, though, definitely between this and a 2D artist is they're gonna have a lot more things on paper. I'm gonna have one thing, but still, just the same. It's that same amount of practice, same amount of thinking, and same amount of problem solving in terms of making a character or sculpting and getting out some ideas. So that's definitely what's going on right now. Another reason for sketching for me is characters in the professional world tend to be very consuming for a while. If you're doing a character on a movie or a game or an asset, you could be working on it for a month, sometimes even more if there's revisions and problems, like if it's a main character. So, you get that, and this is a quick and easy, dirty way to get an end result, is what I'm saying. So instead of waiting for an alien to come around or a reason to do it, that's what this is about. It's just practicing, just getting stuff out, just noodling, just trying different things. And I definitely learned while doing this one. So every time you do it, it's really, really important for me to just feel creative and feel like I accomplished something, because going to day doing characters for a living is super rad. But you're going to be having conversations about that same character over and over again, and then it's going to it becomes like, how close are the eyes, what color are they blue, are they like a brown blue, are they like does he sneer a lot, is he 32 or like 28, because that's a big difference. So it's very you're really doing this character for a long time. And in the professional world, it's not as fun. It's fun, but it's more than just sculpting. It's not just, let's make some forms and some shadows, let's make a character read. It's, let's make something work. You have to plan. There's a lot of planning, a lot of organization. You're doing, sculpts that take a pretty long period of time. They have to get approved by many different people. It's not just you're trying to please. You're trying to please everyone, and you're really trying to sell your story or whatever. And you got to really crisp things up. The forms have to be, after the character's locked in, you got to make those forms super solid. They can read. He needs to be able to animate. Let's say he needs to be able to talk, furrow his brow. What kind of expression does he have on before he's even animated? Things like that. So after you do all that, too, you have to make the low poly, or the other cage. Let's say, like if you're doing a film instead of a game, you'd still make a topology that's all quadded out. There's no triangles, nice and evenly spaced, because it's going to be subdivided on render, and then your sculpt will be used as a displacement map, and it'll move the mesh on render time, and those polygons need to be evenly spaced and no triangles, so that it tessellates properly, and that it can do an even subdivide. And then with games, you're going to have to make a low poly cage with triangles all up in that business, probably. And it really needs to capture the silhouette as efficiently as possible, and going to be able to need to animate as best as you can in the afforded amount.